Namaste children. Again we are back with our next module, that is revisiting irrational numbers. In the lesson chapter 1, real numbers, we are going to deal with revisiting irrational numbers. Now what are irrational numbers, children? You have already learnt in class 9. Irrational numbers are the numbers which cannot be expressed in the form p by q. Can you give me an example? Yes, root 2, root 3, root 5, pi, all are irrational numbers. You can see the decimal expansions will be non-terminating, non-recurring. All those will come under irrational numbers. So here, our objective is to prove root 2 as an irrational number. Already you have learned root 2 is an irrational number. But today, we are going to prove that root 2 is an irrational number. Before going with the proof, let us know a theorem in detail. The theorem states that let p be a prime number. Let us take p as a prime number. So when you take p as a prime number, if p divides a square, then p divides a. This theorem, please children, you keep this in your mind. We are going to use this theorem in the proof. If p is a prime number and if p divides a square, then p divides a. I'll give you an example. 5 is a prime number. 5 divides 625. So 5 divides 25 also. So this theorem just keep in your mind, and we are going to move further with the proof of root 2 as an irrational number. Now children, this root 2 is an irrational number. We are going to follow the method of contradiction. Now what is method of contradiction? See, whatever is given in the question, we will assume its opposite and we will continue with the same. While continuing, we will get a result which says that our assumption was wrong. So that is known as method of contradiction, and we will go back to the previous one. So here also, we are going to follow the method of contradiction. So question is to prove root 2 as an irrational number. So let us assume that root 2 is not irrational, root 2 is a rational number. Now children, you know what is a rational number? A rational number is a number which can be written in the form p by q. So root 2 is equal to p by q. Remember, I have taken root 2 as a rational number. So root 2 is equal to p by q. Now this p by q is not in lowest form. I am going to cancel it and I am going to convert it into lowest form. So now root 2 has become a by b. A by b means a and b have only one as common factor. It is in lowest form. We cannot cancel it further. So root 2 is equal to a by b, in which a and b have only one as common factor. Children, please keep this in your mind that a and b have only one as common factor. Now we are going to proceed. Root 2 is equal to a by b, cross multiply. B into root 2, that is root 2b is equal to a. Now, how are you going to remove that square root from both sides, children? You will do squaring on both sides. So here also I am going to do squaring on both sides. So root 2b the whole square is equal to a square. And root 2b the whole square means 2b square. 2b square is equal to a square. This is the result. 2b square is equal to a square. Number 1. Equation number 1. 2b square is equal to a square. Now children, remember the theorem which we learned. If p is a prime number and if p divides a square, then p divides a. So here 2 is a prime number and 2 divides a square. So 2 divides a. Is it clear? So we got a result 2 divides a square. So 2 divides a. Keep this in your mind. Now what I am going to do is, you can see in equation 1, I am going to give a substitution for a is equal to 2c. So 2b square is equal to 2c the whole square. And in the next step, when I square it, I will get 2b square is equal to 4c square. 2 and 4 will get cancelled. B square is equal to 2c square. Here also 2 is a prime number, isn't it? 2 divides b square. So 2 divides b. Again I got the next result. So first result I got 2 divides a. Now I got 2 divides b. What does it mean, children? This clearly means that 2 is the common factor for a and b. 2 is the common factor for a and b. Do you remember? Earlier I told you to keep in your mind that a and b have only one as common factor. But now we got a and b has 2 also as common factor. What does it mean, children? Our assumption is wrong. This is known as method of contradiction, and our assumption is wrong. So root 2 is not a rational number. Root 2 is an irrational number. Similarly, you can do the proof of root 3, root 5, root 7, root 11, whatever it be. If you understood how to do root 2, all the other proofs will be easy for you. So I think it is clear for you. Now we are going to deal with the decimal expansions of rational numbers. You know what a rational number is? Yes. A rational number is a number which can be expressed in the form P by Q. You know what a rational number? You have learnt in smaller classes. Exactly. Now, in class 9, you learnt the decimal expansions of rational numbers by long division method. Do you remember? Yes. So here, without doing the long division method, we have a theorem in which it clearly says that the decimal expansion can be either terminating or non-terminating recurring. So, yes, our rational numbers have two types of decimal expansions. The one is terminating, which means it stops after some decimal places. Yes, and the other one is non-terminating recurring. Non-terminating means it will never stop. And recurring means repeating. The same number of digits will get repeated, or a block of digits will get repeated. That is non-terminating recurring. So, the theorem says that suppose P by Q is a rational number and P by Q should be in lowest form. If it is not in lowest form, please children convert it into lowest form. And you take the denominator. What is the denominator? Q. P by Q. Q is the denominator. If you are able to express this Q in terms of 2 raised to n into 5 raised to m, then the decimal expansion will be terminating. Otherwise, non-terminating recurring. Shall we see an example? Yes. The example 17 by 8. Already 17 by 8 is in lowest form. Now you take the denominator 8. 8 can be expressed as 2 into 2 into 2. That is 2 cube. Here you can see there is only term of 2, but we don't have terms of 5. So if there is no term of 5, you can include 5 raised to 0. So 2 cube into 5 raised to 0. This is of the form 2 raised to n into 5 raised to m. That means the decimal expansion terminates. Let us see another example. 129 by 2 square into 3 raised to 5 into 5 raised to 7, whatever it be. You can see in the denominator, apart from 2 and 5 powers, we have 7 or 3 or whatever. If other numbers are coming into picture, that means the decimal expansion will not be terminating, it will be non-terminating recurring. So we have two types of decimal expansions, terminating and non-terminating. If the decimal expansion of the denominator, or if the P by Q, if we are taking the Q and if we are converting it in terms of prime factors, and if we are getting in the form 2 raised to n into 5 raised to m, then the decimal expansion terminates. Otherwise, non-terminating recurring. And if there is only powers of 2, you can include powers of 5 by including 5 raised to 0. Why? Because we know any term raised to 0 is 1. Similarly, if 2's power is not there, you can include 2 raised to 0. But apart from 2 and 5, if any other number comes into picture, that means it will be non-terminating recurring. Remember children, do not forget to convert the fraction in its lowest form. So I hope it's clear and you have clearly understood the decimal expansions of rational numbers, that is terminating and non-terminating. See you soon. Happy learning. Thank you. Bye.